All right, it looks like we just had a couple more people join. I guess I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. We can start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, was there any public comment?
I would just like to say, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. If we take a moment to remember Miriam Mahan, who passed away on November the 27th, and what she did as far as being a warrior to help those in need for the St. Joachim Care Service.
This is the first I'm hearing. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was sudden. We don't know the circumstances other than she just passed away in her sleep on November the 27th. So, it's quite a shock. And so, we'd just like to remember her and what she has done and what she did for the community. And she was such a wonderful person who helped all those in need that she came across.
I would like to echo that, and just, as we begin this holiday season, we are seeing, skyrocketing calls of people destabilizing with the economy. And hearing Miriam's voice on our shoulders, she would be at this meeting if she had a chance to, telling us all our social responsibility and reminding us that what we do is really important. And so I would like to just commend the board members for their commitment. I know it's not easy to give up that evening, especially in the winter as it gets cold, to continue to try to make those decisions to serve our most fragile folks. And I want to just thank everyone for that.
Hey, Dottie.
Yes.
This is Dave. Like Katie, this is the first I heard of Miriam's passing, and it comes as a surprise and a shock. I probably knew her longer than anyone on the board, and worked with her like you over the years, and she was just a wonderful, amazing advocate for the indigent and the homeless. What a wonderful person who just devoted her life to helping those less fortunate. And she was always a role model to me. And I'm sure she's in heaven, but man, we could sure use a few more Miriam Mahans in this world. What a great lady she was, and God bless her soul.
Yes.
Yeah. I'd just like to add too that her reach was well beyond St. Charles County. She had a state and a national platform, and
she did.
So this is a significant loss, and we send out our prayers for strength and peace to her family.
I think the best way we can honor her legacy is to carry on her mission, her passion for social justice and for being that voice for the poor. And that's what she would say. I actually attended her virtual funeral, and the songs were about go forth, commissioning us to pick up the work that she carried as far as she could.
Well said.
All right, well, that's not how I was hoping to to start off the meeting tonight. I didn't know her personally with my time on the board, but it sounds like she was a great lady and will be greatly missed. So, anything else anyone wanted to add? We can go ahead and if I can get a motion to approve the November minutes.
So moved.
A second. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. So obviously, our new business for the night is just a discussion of the score sheets and the allocations, and then voting on the allocations. So I sent out the allocations earlier today. Hopefully everybody got the chance to kind of look those over. So just to start off, I just wanted to thank everybody again for the presentations the last couple of months, and all the work that is put into the applications and preparing for the presentations and giving the presentations. I know that's not everybody's most favorite thing to do, but I enjoyed them all and appreciated everything that was put into that. So the total allocation for this year is $305,000. Last year's was $240,000, so there was actually a bit of an increase this year, which is great to see.
Katie, do
yeah.
we know why we saw an increase? Because we've been going down. I was shocked to see that we got more money this year, which was fantastic.
I don't know for sure. I don't know if Pinar can chime in on that. My thought was maybe that it was in response to, you know, the COVID situation and knowing that there was more of a need. Pinar, do you have any feedback on that?
Actually, Department of Finance is providing us the number, the allocation, and as far as I know, indigent funding amount is not changing. It is coming from the general allocation is 40,000. Homeless prevention part, homeless funding. It is coming from from the deeds, I guess. It is the transaction fees. So it is again, this year there's some kind of an increase, I guess, because every, at the end of the year, finance director is making an adjustment to continue with that. I'm not sure that it is attributed to COVID or not. So I was shocked and I was happy, but I don't know the reason. I just thought that, oh, it means that we had more fees coming to county this year, I thought, because of the ordinance. That's good news. And I have another, and more money will be coming from CDBG, CV third round allocations as well. And probably currently we are at the end of need assessment, and more likely we will be needing your service again as CAP board to allocate that amount. So it is a total of $1 million actually to respond to coronavirus.
I have heard indirectly that the county's revenue was a little higher than anticipated, that the Amazon warehouse has helped improve the tax base a little bit. So they have been pleasantly surprised. They expected a much bigger hit because of COVID on the tax revenue, but apparently that's offsetting it somewhat. And so that's a blessing to our community also.
I say we take it and spend it all tonight and not question it. Give it out before anybody can come back and realize they made a mistake.
In the spirit of Miriam, let's do it.
So there was a question, if the allocations were sent to the agencies. I didn't send them to the agencies. I just sent them to the board. I don't know I can. I don't remember if that's typically something that we do, or if we just kind of give the results afterwards along with the scorecards.
Typically, after the allocation, I am sending them the results and the revised budgets so that they can make revisions according to the allocations. And also, I put everything on the share file again for the scorecards. I had 5 CAB members turned in their scorecards, so I will be sharing those as well. So before the meeting, I didn't share, but currently, if you can or I can share the spreadsheet so that everyone can see the allocations and you can discuss that way.
Sure, I can do that. All right. Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spreadsheet on there? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so here are the results. And basically, we have the proposed. I don't remember how to do that. The proposed allocations over here, which it kind of consists of the average is kind of what I went off of, just to give everybody a little background about how the proposed allocations came about. So I guess I just want to open it up for discussion. I'll just go ahead and hide that so you can see there. Just wanted to open it up for discussion or any comments about the proposed allocations, suggested changes, or any feedback from you all. I know this is the first time some of you are seeing this, so.
Katie?
Yeah.
Oh, Katie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who got, I'm just confused on the care. Your kids are cute. On your care.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. On the care funds and the CDBG, what agency was awarded those funds?
I think we need to vote to approve that tonight, I believe.
Okay.
But
I thought we voted on that, but maybe we didn't.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Based on these voting results, NECAC would have the project care funds.
Okay. Yeah.
And then St. Jocominian was the only one that requested the CD.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
No problem.
So this is John Glenn. On the main sheet, the one that jumps out to me is Link. I would advocate for a larger number for them based on where they perform their service. They're further west, not as many resources around, and the people there in Hidden Valley typically have great need, and I think they would benefit from some additional funding beyond this suggested amount.
Okay. Let's see. So the request was 50,000, and this proposal is 34 based on the average. Are there any other comments that maybe we could use kind of in conjunction with John's comment?
I'm honestly comfortable with all of the allocations with what's being proposed based on the averages of everybody's votes. I think pretty much everybody got an increase, some a little bit more than others.
Yeah, and I think Pinar actually did add that that percentage increase here as well. And I believe that's, give me just a minute, but yeah, that's based on the prior year allocation.
Katie, as far as Link, I just have two comments. Number one, they're getting more funding tonight than they've ever had. And number two, I don't disagree with John whatsoever with his comments, but it comes down to where you got who you gonna take the money from. If you want to give more money to Link, who you want to take it away from? That's the problem. And I do think it's pretty equitable across the board right now. So that's the rub of it all, I guess.
Well, I'm just one person, so
yeah, I know.
So it's whatever the group does, but I just think the need is greater there in that particular area, and I know it creates a domino effect of if you pull it from one, but I don't think that should be a prohibiting factor. I think with rules is what the majority of the board says. I mean, that was my comment.
Right. Well, no, I hear you, John. I just say that if you want to give, we're running into this problem every year where, we want to give, one agency more money. Okay, that's fine. Who's going to suffer? I mean, that's just the real world here.
They don't suffer if they haven't gotten it yet.
Well, you're right. Well, okay. Well,
decision has been made. They don't suffer. So
well, I'm looking at the percent increase, and I would, if I'm looking, am I supposed to be looking at column U or V for percent increase?
U is based on U, I believe U.
U.
So yeah, column V is just the percentage of the 2020 allocation, and then the column W is the percentage of the 2021 allocation. So as far as an increase based on the amounts awarded, you would be looking at column U. So I guess in light of John's comment, and maybe this is where you were going, Melinda, but it looks like NECAC had the largest increase. And and I know this is different, but they're also being awarded the Project Care funds this year. Yeah. So potentially, I mean, something,
Well, that's another low budget agency that you take 1,000 from them.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the challenge, John, is you could argue every single agency.
Yeah.
That they all provide a unique service, and a unique population.
If nobody, I think it's going to be hard to take away. So if nobody else has any comments, I would propose that we just stick with the averages. That seems like a fair way to do it based on the voting results. of the board members. There weren't Pinar kind of highlighted a couple outliers here in this peachish color. So there weren't a ton of outliers really, or consistent outliers. You know, there might have been one per agency really. So I wanted to point that out as well, and that was taken into consideration too. Were there any other final comments or feedback from anyone before we, I guess, move to a formal vote?
I just want to again express my appreciation to every single one of the agencies for the just absolutely heroic work that you've been doing throughout this pandemic. Our nonprofits are really truly the unsung heroes that are out there continuing to deliver services, not getting much publicity or acknowledgement for the work that you're doing. But please know that there are those that see you and know and appreciate absolutely the work that you've been doing, and just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
I second that. This was my first time. And I spent a lot of time rereading all of the individual agencies. And honestly, it was really hard to try to decide because there's such a need. Every one of them presented well.
That's a testament to our community.
All right, thank you guys for the comments. I would echo that as well. All right, if there's no further comments, I can get a motion to approve the allocations as they stand here on the screen for a total of $305,000.
I make a motion.
A second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All right. And then I guess technically we need another motion to approve the project care funds and the CDBG funds as well.
So moved.
All right, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so as Pinar mentioned, I'll stop sharing my screen here if I can. All right. As Pinar mentioned, she can, I guess everything's uploaded to the share file. Does everybody have access, know how to get to that? Or do we need to email it out?
I will email it out. I can just type it here as well, but I will email out tomorrow for the score sheets.
Okay.
And then I will be also emailing the allocations, and I will be revising the budgets based on the applications. And then I will be sending them out as well.
Okay. All right, thank you. So our next meeting date is January 12th. I kind of am assuming that we're just gonna keep on with the remote meetings for now. I guess if everybody agrees with that, I haven't reserved any in-person rooms or anything yet for this next year. So I guess we can kind of continue to revisit that as time goes on. But for now, I guess I would just plan on it being remote. So hopefully everyone stays safe and healthy over these holidays. I know it's kind of, some of the numbers here are getting a little high. So I know a few people in my family actually have it right now. So I think that's becoming more and more common. It used to kind of be, somebody who knows somebody that has it. And now it's kind of, a lot of people that have it. So hopefully everybody can stay safe and healthy over the holidays.
Katie?
Yeah.
Just one question I was asking Pinar before the meeting. I guess going forward, she said we need to have a meeting for CDBG, which we can do in January, I guess. And then going forward after that, I don't foresee doing any site visits like we normally do. So I guess the old Community Assistance Board will be like on call after January. Is that something that you foresee as well?
Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't really thought too far past January yet. At this point, I'm
Right.
kind of playing it, month by month. But that's a good point. So, and remind me how many, because we're required to meet a certain number of times a year, correct?
I'm not real sure on that.
Yeah.
I think at one time we were supposed to meet once a quarter, and then
I guess.
I think that's how it came down one time. But given the current times,
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to take us to court if we don't. But
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I can look into that, or Pinar, maybe you can look into it to see kind of if, just make sure that's okay, and if there's any requirements for number of meetings or anything. I seem to, because we cut out one meeting, I believe, last year or the year before.
yes.
And I thought there was some discussion about there needed to be a minimum number of meetings or something like that. So maybe we can look into that and then discuss at the January meeting, and then after the January we can meet as needed or whatever we need to do.
Yeah, I will look at the ordinance and let you know. Currently, I don't remember, honestly. For January meeting, I don't think that we will be ready for the CDBG CV3 allocations. So probably in the after that, again, I will let you know for your help with the
Okay.
applications, all those things. But certainly, I will let you know about what the ordinance says about the minimum number of the meetings. But I don't think that it is a because I mean, the CAB board already met in June for CDBG CV1.
Mm-hmm.
It was an additional meeting.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
But I believe there was a minimum in our discussion next year.
yeah.
And we'll be meeting again, I think, in April. Normally when the agencies have to submit their updated budgets. Isn't that something that normally happens around April?
Yeah, in April they will be submitting their service reports,
Yes.
and if we want to continue with any updates or any needs.
I was just going to add that we received an initial CDBG allocation before the COVID funding came in. The county gave some funding for coordinated entry to do an immediate response with COVID, and I wanted to just share that we helped over 100 families with that initial allocation, doing motel sheltering and transportation to shelter. And that was keeping people, very vulnerable folks on the streets, safe during COVID. And so I just thought I would share that nice outcome as we begin to. Agencies are now getting under contract the first CV funding for rent and mortgage assistance, but we did a great job. We have some statistics on our Tableau dashboard if anybody wants that web link. But Saints Joachim and Ann did medical check-ins. We had churches delivering foods to motels. And so it took a community effort, but we've done it. It's really worked well to try to keep people safe.
Awesome. Thank you, Dottie.
Thank you.
So I guess, Pinar, we can kind of check on that. And then I guess my question is, if the CDBG is not going to be ready by January, is there anything to cover in the January meeting? Maybe we skip the January meeting and then meet when CDBG is ready. But I guess maybe that might depend on the minimum number of meetings. So is that something everyone is okay with, if we kind of check on that, and then I can send them an email out to let everybody know the status of the January meeting, and then I guess going forward?
Sure.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
This is painless.
All right. Was there any other comments?
Merry Christmas.
Merry
Yeah.
Christmas,
Merry
Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Hopefully
Merry
2021
Christmas.
better than 2020.
safe.
Right?
Yes,
Stay healthy.
You too.
Stay
Yeah.
healthy.
Thank you.
thank you.
Hunker
All
down.
right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Katie.
Thanks.
Okay, kid.